Hello everyone, my name's Sean, and I apologize for the jankiness of this video and the lateness of it, but I just wanted to get out my thoughts on Marvel's Spider-Man for the PlayStation 4. Is it something that I like, and is it something that I can recommend? Let's start with the story, because here we get to see Peter Parker no longer in high school. I was starting to think we would never see him outside of his teen years, but now he's a research assistant for Otto Octavius, pre-8 Arms. He's been Spider-Man for a number of years now, and we actually get to see some major improvements in his life. Otto is on the brink of a massive discovery, and we get to see Spider-Man take down the Kingpin and lock him away. However, Otto's invention gets shut down by Norman Osborn. We get to see the vacuum made by putting away Kingpin bring about new villains, and we get to see Peter try to handle literally everything. And that's one thing that I feel like the story does rather well. We get to see Peter Parker handle being Spider-Man, being his research assistant, and having to handle basically his family and his friends. He is not technically together with MJ, they're separated at the moment, but they're trying to get back together. We get to see Peter help out Aunt May at the homeless shelter, and we get to see how compassionate he is. We get to see his heart go out to other people. One side mission has him go out and collect pigeons for a homeless guy just because the pigeons mean a lot to him. And it's something that I feel like is amazing in this game. And we get to see, Spider-Man be the jokey, jovial Spider-Man that we all know and love. And I feel like the story nails it home. It's fun, it's funny, and it's got a lot of heart in it, which is something that's all I ask in a good story. But the story is nothing without the visuals and the audio aspect of it. Luckily, the visuals are breathtakingly amazing. New York is not only fairly accurate to what you would think a Marvel's New York to be, with actual landmarks and actual streets from New York peppered in with landmarks from the Marvel Universe, whether it's the Avengers Tower or Alias Investigations or the Wakandan Embassy. You get to see a good mixture of those elements together that provides a realistic Marvel New York, and that's something I feel like is amazing here. We get to see how the citizens are when they react to different crimes, or whether they just wave to you when you're walking down the street. Granted, there are a bit of jankiness here and there. Not everything is very polished, and we get to see a lot of low-res things here and there, but whenever it focuses on the visuals, like for example in the cutscenes, they are amazing, and really it's very immersive, brings me into the story, and I'm applauding Insomniac Games for doing so. The audio design, while not the best, is great. The music swells like it should when you're swinging around the city. There's a lot of attention to detail here in terms of the voice acting, which is great. There's no real musical track that stands out, but it plays well with the visuals and with the story to be as immersive as it needs to be. The voice cast is some of the best that I've seen in any Spider-Man game. Now, whether it's Yuri Lowenthal, I'm sorry if I butcher some of these names, he does a magnificent job as Spider-Man, and is something that I want to hear more of him. I want to hear more of his Spider-Man, and that's something that I never really get to see too much or say too much. And the supporting cast does a great job as well. You have Darren DePaul as J. Jonah Jameson. You might know him from Reinhardt, but his JJ is fantastic. It makes you want Bryan Cranston as JJ, which is really odd to say, but is great nonetheless. You also get William Sales. like I said, I'm gonna butcher some of the easiest names here. Rigby from the regular show, he's Doc Ock, and he blows it out of the water, both in emotions as well as in terms of pure villainy whenever he eventually turns, because yeah, he turns in the story. Big spoiler alert. You also have Najee Jeter as Miles Morales, Laura Bailey as MJ, and Nancy Lenani as Aunt May. Now, these are holdovers from the Marvel cartoon series Spider-Man, but they reprise their roles beautifully and really brings the sense of continuity with this. You get to see some of these characters and hear them, and not think that this is just another Spider-Man game, but this is the Spider-Man game. This is Marvel's Spider-Man, and it's really great to hear. I want to hear a lot of these characters more and more. But all that, small potatoes compared to the gameplay. So how is it? It's Arkham. Arkham City more specifically. You've got a big open world that you can swing around and fight bad guys. And there's a bit of a stealthy option. You can do it head on. You have a bunch of these gadgets around. And while it's not original, it is more refined here. It's very good to beat up bad guys. Using your variety of weapons is great. You have a focus meter that builds up, so you can either perform a magnificent combo or heal up, because you do go down in a few hits if you're not careful. And you also can take down enemies in a magnificent fashion, either stealthily or using those gadgets. And just swinging around the world is probably the best aspect of gameplay. It's not the combat, it's not the sneaking around, it's just going from one place to another. This game has a fast travel system, and I've barely used it, because just swinging from one place to another is great. Now, there are a little bit of negatives here and there that I want to bring up. There are sections in the story where you get to play as Miles or MJ, and those are not the best. They work for a story standpoint. Playing as Miles or as MJ in the story does make sense, but as a fun standpoint, it's not as fun as sneaking around as Spider-Man, because at least with him you can fight back, whereas here, if you get caught, it's an instant lose scenario, and that really sucks in my opinion. Now, and there are a lot of things you can do outside the main story missions. There are some side missions that are great. You can find collectibles like his backpacks that he leaves around the city, landmarks you can take pictures of, or just fight crimes. Those are great. One of the side quest thingies that you can do is challenges for Taskmaster, and these are where I feel like the game falters a little bit. While challenges are not something that's new, it is something that's really difficult if it's something that's a bit more precise. Some of these challenges involve you traversing through the city, following a drone, and picking up some of the spy cams they leave around. And these require precision swinging in a quick and timely fashion, and it doesn't really hold up in terms of the swinging mechanics. But other than that, the gameplay is great. Now, whenever you collect all these different collectibles, whether it's taking pictures of landmarks, or collecting backpacks, or doing side missions for Oscorp's research stations, you get these tokens, and you can use them to purchase your gadgets, improve your abilities, or unlock new suits. And it's these unlocks and this way of unlocking everything that's great. There will be points in the story where he says, well, I'm not really doing anything, I might as well just swing around and see what I can do. It's these activities that say, okay, you can not do much of the story stuff right now, we'll let you go around and do whatever you want. And it's that I greatly appreciate, because it gives you times to get those tokens, unlock your suits, and be the type of Spider-Man that you want to be. Do you want to be a stealthy Spider-Man? Put on the Spider Noir suit and take care of criminals in a stealthy fashion? You can do that. Do you want to go as Spider the Wrestler and just beat punks to a pulp. You can do that too. You can do any mixture of any type of Spider-Man that you want to be. Do you just want to swing around as fast as you can? There's a suit for that. Or do you just want to goof off and swing around as Spider-Man in his underwear? Yes, you can do that too. And it's those variety of unlocks and the way that the progression goes that makes me really enjoy this game. So, long story short, how's the game? It's great. The story is amazing, the gameplay is good, the visuals and sound design are great. It shows good attention to detail, but it's not groundbreaking. There are a few things here and there that could be refined in a sequel, and while it doesn't break anything new, it is polished, and it was a good time to be had. It took me a while to complete this game, and while I don't feel the necessity right now to go back and play it, I do have a feeling I'll be popping in this game from time to time just to swing around and have some fun. So with that being said, what are your thoughts on Spider-Man the game, and what are your thoughts on this setup? Would you like to see something more akin to this in my videos going forward, or would you like to see something akin to my older gaming thoughts that you can find on my channel, or what do you suggest? I'm always open to constructive criticism, whether they be actually constructive or not. With that being said, I'll see you guys next time.